Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new thing we're gonna do. Me and Lamb Chops here. I got Matt.
Hey,
Yeah.
hi.
We're gonna do One Piece discussion. We're gonna start doing this. We're gonna try for every week. And so, just before we say anything, we're gonna talk about the manga. So if you're not caught up on the manga, you should probably stop watching because there's gonna be spoilers. So, start off. Let's answer a few questions, like most commonly asked questions, so that we won't have to answer those every time.
Yeah, so you'll know more about like what we like and what our opinions are, so that it might make sense with things that we are looking forward to in the future
All right.
and what we might be talking about.
So, who's your favorite character, and why?
Law, because he's awesome. He cut out 100 pirate hearts and sent them to the Marines or world government or whatever to become a warlord. Just everything about him is awesome, and his backstory.
I'd have to agree with you. Law is definitely my favorite character. Although I do like Zoro too, but I just think Law
Yeah.
takes the cake.
Zoro is definitely a second.
I think we're gonna agree on a lot of these, but there's probably like it'll probably be like half and half. I think with us.
Hmm.
Who's your favorite villain and why?
Okay, now that is a hard one, because like there's the God Andrew, who I didn't really like, but at the same time I really liked his side story thing that they had at the beginning of each chapter for one point where he went to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'd say he's not probably one of the best. So I'd have to go with, even though it's kind of cliche because he's the main one, Blackbeard.
And why? Why Blackbeard?
Just because because I hate him, which means he's a good villain.
That's a
You
fair
know?
point. I would have to say, for me, it's Magellan from Impel Down was my favorite because he was like the antagonist, but he was just doing his job. Like, if you think about it, he didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
and you saw like with how ruthless he was, you saw that he was also not a bad person.
and Luffy, he's like the only villain so far that Luffy has fought and not beaten. Like, they just got away from him. He didn't beat him.
Well, Smoker's also like that. I completely forgot
Well, that's
about
true,
Smoker.
but now Luffy could kick Smoker's ass. Like
Oh
back
yeah,
then he didn't lose, but now he has hockey, so he kicked it. Anyway,
yeah,
but yeah, and Magellan just kind of makes you question. Like I like that whole theme of like Impel Down and Marineford, where it's like questioning morality in the show, and like who really is justice. Like with the Flamingos whole speech about whoever wins is going to be justice. And it was just
yeah,
kind of like foreshadowed by Magellan. I feel like I don't know. I just like the way Magellan worked out.
yeah. I watched Impel Down like 3 times.
Nice. I've seen it twice. What's your favorite quote or statement from One Piece?
You go first.
Okay. Well, mine is so far to this point. Mine is what Dr. Luke said right before he died to Chopper, where when does a man truly die? It's not whenever he does, or it's not. What was it he said? It's not whenever you uh, get a deadly disease or eat a poisonous mushroom, but it's when you're forgotten. That's when you die. And I feel like that goes along with the series really well, along with the whole idea of like inherited wills and all that
Yeah.
other stuff, and just really fits. And it was so like moving at the time because of everything that was going on with Chopper. So
Okay. Well, since I can't really think of a good one, because I don't know why, I'm gonna go with Luffy saying stuff about meat and heroes. So him like giving the speech about how heroes share meat while pirates
yeah,
keep all the meat for themselves, and he wants meat.
during the Fisherman Island arc.
Yeah, just because I couldn't think of any other good ones.
That's a funny one too. I mean,
It's funny, but I know there's a lot of better ones. I just can't think of them
there's
right
more
now.
inspirational ones, but that one was
Yeah.
definitely one of the funnier moments.
Yep.
Who's your favorite female character and why?
Well, Uh, I might actually have to go with Nami. I don't know, I like Nami. That's about it. The reason.
I'd have to think about this.
Oh, the one who changes ages, what's her name again?
Bonnie, Jewelry Bonnie.
Yeah. I like her powers.
Well, that's different though.
And I like how, like, she's always eating so much.
Yeah, she's not such a good person though.
And yeah, but I'm also kind of interested in, like, what her story is right now
Yeah,
because the
definitely.
stuff that happened with Blackbeard and stuff. So she's really interesting at the same time.
But I think we should talk more about that once we get into, like, the emperors.
Yeah.
My favorite female character, I really like Robin, like, especially her sense of humor. But I think I'd have to go with Koala, because she's like super strong, she loves Sabo, Sabo's an awesome character, she's got the whole, like, tsundere thing going on with him. She knows Fishman karate, like...
Yeah, human who knows Fishman karate.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
And she's got, like, a sad backstory.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I'd have to say either Robin or Koala. One of them. What's your favorite fight?
Okay, so this one is just, like, really hard. Because, like, most of the time I think of as the arcs, not really the fights themselves, you know? Because that's more what it is. Like, Dragon Ball is all about, like, each fight, while One Piece is more about the arcs.
That's true.
You know?
A lot of the fights have really good endings, though. Look at the fight at the end of Skypiea. That really tied everything together well, you know?
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying.
The thing is, that wasn't, like, a straight-through fight, you know? With,
That's
like,
true. Yeah, there's a lot of fights where he'll like, get beat up and then come back.
Yeah, it's like they're split up too much that I don't really consider what favorite fight is. But I might say his one in Impel Down before he was sent to the... Before the town... What's it called? Yeah. Like his fight against, whatever...
Magellan.
Yeah. Can't say that name. I like that one.
I would have to go with... I don't know. I really like the ones where he's, like, standing up for the crewmates but, like, before they were part of the crew. But I think... just for, like, the nostalgia factor, the fight where he's fighting against... what was his name? Don Krieg. Where...
Oh, yeah, I just watched that yesterday.
where he, like, punches through the spikes, because One Piece was the first anime I ever watched, and whenever it got to that... because that's so early in the series, too. Whenever it got to that point, I was like, how's he gonna beat this guy? Because, his bullets penetrate... and he just punches through the spikes. I just was not expecting that at all.
Yeah,
and
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, now that I think about it, now that you mentioned old fights, I'm thinking the All-Long fight might be my favorite.
That's true.
And the one in the episode of Nami, because they did a really good job of making the characters look like they did back then while still keeping it in HD quality.
Oh, what was that one? Was it the episode of Luffy, maybe? I'm trying to think. There was one where it was like, it was like a special that took place during Luffy's training, and he had a fight that was really epic. When it was like, I forget who it was against. It was the guy against the guy who could, like, make things bigger. Like, he would fire a cannonball and then make it really big. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure, but the one where it was, like, during his training with, what's his name?
Rayleigh.
Wasn't that, 3D2Y?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I like that fight, too. Because the animation was really good, and, it had all his new movesets in it. I wasn't really thinking about fights from, like, the specials in movies until you had said episode of Nami. Anyway, next question. What is your favorite episode? Oh, that's a hard one. There's, like, 700 something?
Yeah, it's also really hard to pinpoint an episode.
Yeah.
So, you want a more cover list when we get to favorite arc? Because there's not really. Because it's kind of hard to pick, like, a single episode. Or do you have one?
I don't know, man. That's really difficult. I guess let's skip that for now.
Yeah.
What's your favorite opening?
Okay, so original in English dub because
Just nostalgia. It's
yeah,
hard to beat the nostalgia
and it's
factor.
amazing. Other than that, opening 11, definitely 11.
I like that one. Honestly, I only watch the openings like a few times, and then I start skipping them to get to the story. But
Yeah, I did that also until I realized that they were actually really good sometimes.
yeah, I know
You
they're
know?
good. It's just
Yeah,
I've been
but then
waiting a
at the
week for
same
the episode. I
time,
want to see the fighting.
yeah, and at the same time, when like you're watching them, the episode straight through, you
Yeah.
just saw this opening like half an hour ago. Don't want to watch it again. Skip it.
Yeah, but I like the first one, and I actually really like the newest one. The
I'm not the biggest fan of the newest one.
Yeah, it's not the best one out of all of them, but I like it. That's the what's it called? It's like the one starts out each needs sunshine.
Oh, that's not the newest one. That's like
Oh, did they change it?
yeah. That's not the newest one.
Oh, well, you know which one I'm talking about. We Go,
Yeah,
I
that
think it's
that one
called.
that one I liked. The Each Knee Sunshine Yon We Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I really like. The newest one that's out right now I don't like. Really.
Maybe I need to go back and watch it because I usually skip it, like I said, once I've seen
Okay.
it once or twice. Anyway, what's your favorite movie or special or episode of?
Okay. Strong World.
Yeah, here's where you and I disagree because we usually agree on these things, but I'd have to say it's Film Z. Like I just
Yeah, but I still think it's because you already saw Luffy with more powers before you
That's-
watched that.
I had
So
watched.
if you had watched it when it took place in the anime,
Yeah. See,
then you
I
would
watched
like
the anime through. Like I kept watching the episodes, and then I went back and watched all the movies. So you're right. I think if I had watched it whenever it first aired, I might have been more impressed by it. But I like Film Z a lot. Like
Yeah, Film Z is really good. I love the animation and everything,
Mhm.
but I still gotta stick with Stronghold.
it is interesting to think about the guy. What's his name? It's like Cheeky or something. The lion guy that floats.
Yeah.
And the one thing I didn't like about that movie was his annoying like sidekick guy that is constantly doing the one bit. But anyway, it's interesting to think about the main character of that was like supposedly just as strong as Roger was. And like, he was like on par with Roger and Whitebeard according to the story. But then Garp and Sengoku were able to take him down. Like, what does that say about Garp and Sengoku as a pair? Like, jeez.
Well, the thing is, I already thought that each of those two individually were the same level as like King of the Pirates, you know?
Well, that was before Roger had the One Piece, so.
Yeah. No, wait, no, that was after.
No,
that
I'm
fight
saying.
took place after.
I know. I'm saying what I was saying is that when they were talking about him being on par with Whitebeard, because
Yeah.
Whitebeard was like at his prime when he was fighting against Roger.
Yeah.
So that theoretically that would have been before Roger was even King of the Pirates. He still would have been about that level. But then once he had the One Piece, then he became like the strongest person in the world theoretically, right? So.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. What is your favorite arc? I think.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't really choose one when I looked at this list earlier, but when you mentioned Magellan as your favorite villain, I realized I'd watched that arc 3 times for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched like a lot of the early arcs way more than 3 times, but I've gotta say, Impel Down is one of the best.
Impel Down is so good, and I hadn't realized this until I saw somebody point it out in the comments of in the YouTube video. But somebody had said, if it weren't for Buggy, Luffy would have completely succeeded in his mission in Impel Down. Luffy was completely stealthy and didn't get spotted once until Buggy started following him. And then
Really?
I laughed at that and I was like, wait a minute, that's
Really?
true. Like he
Yeah,
would have made it. He would have made it all the way to Ace if Buggy hadn't stepped in.
Well, who knows? It's still Luffy.
Yeah, but like he had been fine up until that point, and
Yeah.
then it's not
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
and I guess Luffy did have his brother on the line. He would have been able to,
yeah.
like, focus, you know, so, yeah.
But isn't that crazy? Like Buggy screwed Ace. Jeez. Um,
But then again, I don't know if the escape would have been very successful,
I
you
don't
know?
know. Ace is pretty strong, and they would have freed everybody else down in that level too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Ace could probably fight evenly against Magellan or whatever.
Oh yeah, and one other thing. Um, this is getting kind of off topic, but you know how Crocodile was down in the same cell with Jinbei and Ace?
Yeah?
Well, I was thinking when Luffy got captured, they put him in the cell block above them. And you gotta think, at that time, Luffy's bounty was 300 million. And Crocodile's was like 800, or it was like
Thing
80
is,
million. So what's so special
his
about Crocodile?
Crocodile's bounty would have been a lot higher than 80 million, but, like, that, when they went to put him in, when they went to, what's it called? Uh, when they went to make him part of the Warlords, I remember, like, it should be much higher now because he was a Warlord for a long time. And also, he did have a connection to the Revolutionary Army somehow through what's
That's true, through
the name,
Ivankov.
and he was a warlord, so maybe warlords automatically, if you've been a warlord, you automatically would go down there. That's why
Yeah, same
Jim.
with Jinbei. Yeah.
So
But Jinbei's bounty is also really high.
yeah. But the thing is, Crocodile's bounty would have been much higher than what it was if he didn't become a warlord.
Yeah, I just found that interesting because I was thinking, like, wait a minute, Luffy's bounty was like 3 times Crocodile's, but he didn't go down as far.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't want to put him with his brother. Who knows? Anyway.
Maybe they knew Luffy was trying to get down there, so they're like, we're not gonna help in any way.
Yeah. Oh, I never said what my favorite arc is. Hmm. I have to say Marineford because I mean, come on.
Oh yeah,
It's totally
that's
like
amazing.
as much as I love Impel Down and all the other arcs that, and actually, I don't like so far with Dressrosa. I don't like where they are so far in the anime. They haven't wrapped everything up, but like looking at the manga, like looking back on it, everything makes sense and is tied together really well. It's like actually really good. But I still have to go with Marineford as my favorite arc because it's just so different from the rest of the series, and it's really good. It's just so
Yeah.
good. Like so many amazing things happen.
Yeah. Now that I might actually have to change it to that.
I do like Impel Down though.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, what's the next question? What's your favorite One Piece video game? Yeah, I've played. The only one I've played is One Piece Pirate Warriors. Is it 3? I think it's 3. Let me check. Yeah, One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. But so I guess that one because it's the only one I've played.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, yeah.
if you were in the One Piece universe, whose crew would you join and why? Or you could change it up and join in with the Marines. Now we kind of talked about this before we started recording.
Yeah, I said Luffy's originally, but I was convinced.
Yeah, I convinced him. I talked him into joining Law's crew because Law's awesome.
Yeah, and Law is my favorite character, so.
Yeah. Although, I don't know. The only thing that Luffy has that would convince me to join his crew, besides, all the amazingness of all the characters, is Sanji. They got the cook.
Yeah, the food, but they also have, like, the freedom. They don't, like, even in
Law's
crew,
free.
like, I mean, not like that. I mean, even in Law's crew, it's more, like, you have to listen to Law. While Luffy, it's like, you do have to listen to him, but not with, like, he's not, like, giving out orders, really,
That's true. But I just feel like with Luffy's crew, you'd be
Yeah.
so screwed, yeah. I mean, unless you were, incredibly, monstrously strong. You'd die so fast. Alright. What is the saddest One Piece moment?
Well, I said when we were talking about this earlier, I said going Mary sinking. Now I'm only half sure that's it because I'm remembering some of the other ones, but I'm not sure. But I'm just gonna stick with that one now.
Hmm. It's funny. My saddest moment and the one that made me cry are two different moments. Because for me, I'd have to say Robin's backstory. Like, because that's just, it was so sad.
Yeah,
And Law is, like, just as bad with his backstory, but at the same time, I feel like Law's just a little bit stronger, like, emotionally, I feel like. I mean, even as a kid,
it's because how he dealt with it was different.
yeah, that's true.
It made it so that it didn't seem as sad because he was like punching it in the face.
Exactly. But, the one moment that, like, really got to me was, whenever they were in Ennie's lobby and, Luffy tells Usopp that they're declaring a war on the world government and they burn the flag and then Robin is shouting that she wants to live. Oh my gosh. That was like, I wouldn't say that's the saddest moment because I was happy, like I was crying because I was happy, but that
It's
made me
like
cry so much.
show is so great. It's the only show that can make you cry over a ship.
Yeah, that was sad too. But I just
Cause
don't think
like
it was the saddest though.
yeah, I know what you mean. Just Going Mary was one of my favorite characters. The ship was one of my favorite
Yeah.
characters. I mean, it's a sheep. I'm a sheep.
That's a fair point. I hadn't thought about that.
That just came to my head right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I thought about it before either.
What is the most shocking moment in One Piece?
Sanji is Killua Zodiac.
Yeah, Sanji's in the Zoldyck family. Yeah, basically. No, see, I always thought there was something off about Sanji's backstory, but I wasn't expecting that. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I called it or anything. No.
I never even thought to question it or think about it.
Well, I was just curious because we've seen a lot of the other characters' family. Like the only characters we haven't seen are Nami and
Well, no, we saw Nami's though, didn't we?
Well, we saw her.
But we don't know who her parents.
Yeah, her birth mother we haven't seen is what I'm saying. Like we saw her family. You're right, but like you could say the same thing for Sanjin with Zeph because that was basically his family.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is there are very few characters on the crew that we haven't seen their families yet.
We haven't seen
Brooke.
Zoro's.
That's true too.
I never thought of that because I just always just thought like because he just came.
That was so early in the series though.
I know because he just came to the dojo from like somewhere else. He didn't even live there.
Mm-hmm.
He just like we don't even know where he originally lived. If he was from because he wasn't. It didn't seem like he was from that town. It seemed like he just like walked into that town to create a dojo to fight.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. The most shocking moment. Like, I mean, obviously recently it was the latest chapter, with the minx. But I'm trying to think like overall in the entire story.
Yeah.
Like it's so much there's so many moments to go through. I guess Sabo was pretty shocking, but I wouldn't say he was the most shocking. I guess I'll say I'm not really sure, but just for now I'm gonna say the moment in Marineford where Whitebeard tells everybody that One Piece does exist.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to happen, but I don't know if I'd call it really shocking because I always knew.
That's true. Like I guess we already knew One Piece existed. Otherwise, what's the point of the series? Although it is about the adventure.
Yeah, but Oda said like in something like he promises
and
that it's
SPS.
be something stupid like friendship or journey, you know?
So we know it exists.
Yeah.
Or we at least we can safely assume that it does.
Yeah.
We
don't know what it is.
Well, if
we know it exists.
Okay, going off of that, then I'm gonna change my answer to then when immediately after that Blackbeard steals his devil fruit power. That was that was out of left field, you know.
Yes, that was so surprising.
All right, so that's gonna be my answer then. All right, what's the funniest One Piece moment, and who is the funniest character?
You go first.
I'm gonna say Bartolomeo and the moment we see his ship.
Oh yeah, his ship was
the Going Luffy Senpai.
Yes. Okay, so I don't think him as the funniest character because at the same time as I think he's
I don't think he's the funniest character. I just think
but
that was the funniest moment.
Yeah.
To me.
Okay.
I'd have to think about the funniest character.
I mean, because like each of them are funny for different things at different points. Because sometimes the same character that's really funny is just like seems annoying at different points.
Yeah, like Usopp.
Yeah. And like Bartolomeo.
I guess I'd have to say Luffy is the funniest character.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stick with Luffy also, but I do like that moment with Luffy.
Yeah. What's your what do you think would be the funniest moment for you?
Okay. I'm gonna go with that one because that's the only one I can think of right now.
Well, you said earlier the line he has in Fishman Island about the meat.
Yeah, that's not the funniest moment. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked the line. I thought it was funny, but I don't think it would be the funniest moment.
It's hard to think of them off the top of your head because, like, you know, over the course of like 700 episodes and like 800 chapters, the funny moments are hilarious, but they don't stand out as much as like the overall
as like the
stories.
Important ones, the ones that get your heart, the ones that
But they're funny at the time. That's probably why I would say the Going Luffy Senpai. It's just because it's the most recent funny moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's the next? Oh, what is your favorite ability in One Piece?
You skipped most memorable moment.
Oh, I did. What is your most memorable moment?
I would say, either Ace dying, or when Robin's yelled, "I want to live."
Oh, damn, those are my two. Because I was gonna say the other if you said one of them. Now I gotta think. I think the moment when Luffy, Ace, and Sabo all drink from the sake cups is pretty memorable too.
Yeah.
But honestly, my first choice was one of the ones you said. Alright, what's your favorite ability in One Piece?
As in, which one would I most want to have, or
no, just which one's your favorite?
Like, okay.
You don't want to. You don't necessarily need to want it for it to be your favorite.
Yeah, because there's like ones that I want and ones that I think are cool to look at.
Exactly. Like I have ones that I like better than other ones, but obviously, I'm gonna choose the one that is best beneficial, the most beneficial to me. If I want to.
So, I'd say the Phoenix guy.
Marco, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, come on, stop stealing my answers. Every time you say one that I was gonna say, I feel like I need to change it.
Yeah, because he's like a Zoan, and
he's a zone, and he literally cannot die.
And a low,
Logia,
because like he has the fire things like Ace, like it's actually made of fire, so it will go through him. But if things do hurt him, he will heal because he heals.
The only way he could die is if you used Sea Prism Stone or like drowned in the ocean. Those are literally the only ways he could die because Phoenixes, regenerate themselves.
Yeah.
Um,
But what if you kill him with Sea Prism Stone, and as soon as the Sea Prism Stone's taken away, he like turns to ashes and comes back up live? Wouldn't that be awesome?
yeah, but I don't think. I mean, maybe. I guess if you like stabbed him with a spear and then took it out and he bled out, that would work that way, right?
Well, no, it's just like it's like he died, but yet phoenixes come back from the dead, like once they're like
I
in the dead.
know. That's a
So
good
like,
point. Like, so theoretically, he's the only one that could ever have that
because
fruit, if that's the case.
think about it, because Brook, he came back after being dead for a long, long time. I know that's his fruit's powers, but why can't something like that fruit make him be able to come back from dead if he's been dead for a little while, like the prism stone was in him? You know?
Could you imagine how terrible it would have been for him if he had come back, like, in a week? Like, if he had found his body after, like, a week of being in the fog? Just, like,
Yeah.
mostly decayed, but still, yeah. Anyway. Damn.
And do you think Brook can ever like die or lose his devil fruit?
I'm not even sure if Sea Prism Stone affects him, honestly. Because, like, do you think if, theoretically, if he got handcuffed with Sea Prism Stone, shouldn't that, like, kill him?
No, because when Luffy is in water, he's still rubber. You know,
That's true.
he just like
Well,
uh
no, because whenever, like, say Crocodile's in Sea Prism Stone cuffs, he's not still made of sand.
yeah, but Luffy when he grabs the like bars at one point, he falls down. His arms are stretched out while he's still holding the Sea Prism Stone bars. You know, it's like they're still kind of made of it, but yet they can't use their abilities. They can't. It's weird. It's not like done perfect.
Yeah.
You know.
My favorite ability would probably be... Like, I really want to say Marco's fruit, but there's probably a better one. Like, there's so many devil fruits out there.
Yeah.
I think Law's power is really cool.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
If I was going to have one of the fruits, I think I would want Marco's fruit. But I'm not sure that that's necessarily my... Actually, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to be immortal. That would suck. Hold on a second. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, what was I saying?
You're saying you wouldn't want to be immortal.
Yeah. That's the only reason I wouldn't want Marco's fruit. But I do like his ability. I think if
The
I was...
thing is, I wouldn't want Laws because I don't think I'd have enough precision to use it well.
Yeah, because he's like a surgeon.
Yeah, like his ability is really hard to use.
I would say I would want Foxy's power because he can control time. Like, that's
but
so OP.
At the same time, it's also like, I mean, it's not like the best power, I'd say.
Yeah, but it's the one I would want out of all the powers. Like, the ability to control time? Are you kidding me?
I mean, I'd like to be able to turn into fire. I mean, that'd be awesome.
I'd rather have time control. I mean, fire's cool, but, well, it's hot. But,
Actually, lightning.
like Eneru?
Yeah. I mean, think about how good would Foxy's powers work on Enru, because it slows it down. It doesn't actually stop anything. And Enru's
He
made
can
of
just
lightning.
get out of the way.
Yeah, but
Just
Enru's
stop
made
him
of
and
lightning.
move.
It's not like he can slow. How fast could he actually slow down Enru?
Well, I just think Foxy, he needs to, like... You know, now that we know, like, about awakened devil fruits, if he awakened his devil fruit, he'd be, like, unstoppable. He'd just control
that would be
time.
awesome.
If he
Just
weren't,
like,
if he weren't
I
such
bet
a...
you could just make the space around him in a certain distance, like, slow, so, like, anything ever approaching him, like, even if he just keeps it to being, like, just, like, an inch around him, like, at all times, like, bullets, it's like someone shot him, the bullet will slow down right before it hits
That's
him.
one thing I wondered about Capone's powers. You know Capone, right? How he has, like, the castle fruit?
Yeah.
Well, you know how he has that barrier around him that whenever stuff comes out of it, it gets really big? Well,
Yeah.
it gets to its normal size. I was just thinking about, like, do you think if somebody shot him, would it shrink the bullet once it got within that barrier?
It might.
But anyway, I just think if Foxy weren't such like a joke character, he could be super strong. And
Yeah.
I love the ability to control
I mean,
time.
and I also loved Luffy's fight against him. That was
Yeah, Afro Luffy.
yeah.
And I guess he wasn't so useless in the newest like episode of or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He was still pretty.
He was still pretty Luffy.
All right. Do you own any One Piece merchandise?
I
know you do.
Yes.
You have a lot. You have more than I do.
I've got like 4, maybe 5 T-shirts. No, 4. No, definitely not 5. I think I have 4. I've got Luffy and the Chopper little stuffed animal plushie thing. I have Law's sword.
You have the
Like
manga.
it's not like the huge long one, but it looks like Law's sword.
I also have that, and it's like an actual katana.
Yeah. I've got like up to volume like 23 maybe of the manga.
Still collecting.
Yeah.
And you got the DVDs too, right?
Yeah. I've got a lot of stuff.
I have a Law costume with the same katana as you, I think. It might be
Oh yeah, I also have a Sabo costume.
Yeah, but you made that.
But yeah, I made it, so it's not like an actual thing that you bought.
It's like unofficial, I guess you could say.
Yeah, unofficial.
I have the Law costume. I actually bought the Law costume that I have, and like a couple of Chopper plushies, and that might be it actually. I have a lot I just know a lot. I like the series. I have the game, like I was talking about, Pirate Warriors 3. But yeah, that's all I have for now. I do plan to collect the series once it's over, though.
Yeah. Like, I'm collecting the volumes that come out as 3s, you know?
I just feel like it would be easiest to wait until the series is over, if it ever ends, because by the time it ends, it's going to start coming out as, like, bigger and bigger collections, I feel like.
Yeah. The thing is, the collections of 3 are still coming out. At least when I was buying them, I caught up to where the collection of 3s were released, which was still back at, Bloodworks Arts.
Yeah.
You know?
Alright, next question. Do you prefer watching sub or dub?
Well, just because I started watching dub, and I like the voice actors for everyone dub, I like dub better, but for the new episodes, because I'm not a big fan of Brooks or Frankie's voice, so I watched the sub first, and the dub's not the best for them. Sub. So
to be fair, those are some hard voices to have to do.
Yeah. And I also did not like Iceberg's voice in the dub.
I would have to say sub, because I always prefer the sub to the dub, just because, it's a lot less gets lost in translation. I understand why
there's
people like the dub better, but
3 or 4 animes that I say dub are better for. All the rest are sub. Those 3 are Cowboy Bebop, Space Dandy, and Fullmetal Alchemist. Oh yeah, wait, I forgot. Well, Brotherhood and Fullmetal Alchemist, I'm pretty sure they had the same voice actors in the dub. And Dragon Ball.
Well, that's because you watched Dragon Ball as a kid. So, like, you're used to it, though.
It's not just that. I cannot stand Goku's high-pitched voice in the sub.
Well, he's just a little kid, and he is, like, part monkey.
No, not as the kid, as the adult version of him.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure they never changed his voice actor or something, and the voice actor never made his voice older or something. I don't know what they did, but it's still high-pitched and annoying, you know?
Alright, yeah, I'd have to say sub just because I can understand. The 2 biggest arguments I would say for the dub is that it doesn't divide your attention as much, although I have no problem following along.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I first started watching the sub, it was terrible, but now I feel like the sub has actually helped me so much because I'm dyslexic and now I'm a much faster reader because of anime.
I'd say I'm a faster reader too, and I'm not dyslexic or anything.
Yeah.
But it's just
Go
helps
anime.
you read.
It helps people become faster readers.
It helps you read. But and also with the dub is that you can multitask if you're watching it. But other than that, I find every reason supports the sub almost. Because
Yeah,
especially with the voice actors, I find most of the time the voice actors are better in the sub.
Yeah, like I was saying, One Piece was not one of the ones on the list where I said that dub, because those ones you have to watch the dub. The other ones, like One Piece, I'd say watch the sub if it's your first time. Actually, no, watch the dub if it's your first time, so that you can get the opening.
All right. Next two questions we're gonna do is one question. What is the number one thing you love and the number one thing you hate the most about One Piece?
I'll do love first, then you do hate first, and then we'll switch.
Okay.
The thing I love the most about One Piece is everything.
That's not fair.
Okay, just how it's unlike a lot of animes, even though it's got amazing fighting, it's more about the adventure than the fight. You know?
Yeah.
Like, even Naruto, which you think seems to be really about the adventure more than fight, it's not, because most of them on each individual story is not like a big, long journey, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's about the journey, not the fight. And it's about the journey, and yet it's this long. While most that are not just like that are about more of a journey than a bunch of fights are shorter.
Okay, so the thing I hate the most about One Piece, I'd have to say the fan service. Like, I don't mind fan service, you know, it's whatever, but I just don't like it whenever they're like over the top with it, you know? And One Piece usually does a pretty good job about not doing that, but occasionally...
It did. The thing is, it got so much worse after the time skip.
Yeah.
Because, like, the body types, what age are they? They're not supposed to just instantly change that much in 2 years.
And Robin, basically turned white.
It's like, no, that's not how... No, why?
Alright, so what's the thing you hate the most?
I hate a lot of how the characters' designs changed after the time skip. Like,
it took me so long to get used to Frank.
Chopper's big form, where it has now that big puff around his neck thing.
Well, he changed a few of his techniques too.
Yeah, some of those are. I don't mind the techniques as much, but I mean like his main bigger form.
Yeah.
It's got that weird thing around his neck. I'm like, no, that doesn't look right. Then Frankie's big, humongous thing. I'm like.
It took me a while to get used to it, but now I like it.
Yeah,
it makes sense now.
I've gotten used to it, but still, it's not the best. And then also what they did to Nami and Robin, even it's like they just went for fan service more than keeping how the characters looked.
I like how Zoro has the scar now, and the fact that the only thing that changed about Sanji was they flipped his hair the other way.
Yeah.
That cracked me up whenever I saw him. I was like, all these characters are so different, and then Sanji's just like, I'll just part it this way now.
Yeah. I mean, I like what happened to Luffy, Zoro, and I guess Sanji. But everyone else, I don't like what they did to them.
Cool. What about Brook? He didn't change, really. He's got a more...
But the thing is, I liked his, how his clothes were, all kind of ratty looked, and, how they fit his, skeleton persona, not his rock star persona.
I like how his, bounty poster is his rock star poster.
Yeah.
Anyway, alright, we're getting off topic. So, the number one thing I love the most about One Piece, I'd have to say, it's actually something that a lot of people don't like, the length of it. I like.
Oh, I love the length.
The main reason I say that is because, well, for one, like you were saying earlier, it's about the adventure. That's the whole point of the series, and they make it a point to bring that Like Oda says that all the time. You know, it's about the adventure. It's not about
Yeah.
the end goal of the One Piece. It's, you know, about the fun they have along the way. And because of that, I think the length actually works in its favor without how massive the series is.
Yeah, and how they actually do a good job with the length.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have like super long, terrible filler arcs, and the filler arcs that they do have.
Sometimes the anime can stretch out the manga a little bit, but that's the animator's fault. So.
Yeah, and like I'm more saying like how Bleach has those terrible filler arcs, and how
some people like the filler arcs, but I know what you mean.
I mean, some of them were okay, but some of the Bleach filler arcs, I'm just like, no, it doesn't work with like how the rest of the world seems to work in my mind, at least. It didn't seem to fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Naruto has like 90 seems to be like 90% filler somehow. Like
it basically is.
Yeah, and like One Piece does a good job of that. Like, and the filler arcs actually kind of work because it's just like, oh, we stopped at a new island between here.
Yeah, exactly. The way the story's written, it works in perfectly because they're just constantly traveling to new islands anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Last question: does One Piece take your number one spot in your top 10 anime, and if not, where?
Number one.
I'd have to say number one, just because of the nostalgia factor. It's like it's the first one I ever watched.
Well, if you count Pokemon.
Okay, that's fair. But Pokemon now is terrible, so you can't really.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the thing is, it started getting. It's what my, Tom from high school. Yeah. He's what got me to watch Pokemon all the way through, and then he got me to watch One Piece all the way through, and then that's where I branched off into watching other anime. You know, so. That's why I kind of consider it, because I watched Pokemon through in high school. I kind of consider it counting as first anime, but at the same time, I
watched Pokemon whenever it first aired in America.
Oh yeah, I watched it as a kid also, but I mean like.
And Yu-Gi-Oh too, I also watched. So I guess that those two technically I watched before.
Yeah, I mean I didn't count when I watched Pokemon as a kid because I didn't really count that, but I mean like how I watched Pokemon as an adult, if that counts. You know?
I mean, I've watched a lot of series, and I could argue that some of them were better than One Piece, but I just think it's because of, like I said, you know, it's not really about it's hard to judge because the different series are so different. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's tons that are like definitely better than One Piece, but they're not my top number one favorite on my list, you know? Exactly. Even if I admit they are much better than One Piece.
I just think that it's number one because it's just like, it's special, you know? It's the first one I watched. It's got something special about it. You know, pretty much everybody can agree on that who's a fan, so. Mm-hmm. All right, now that we've done that so that we don't have to do that every episode, we've gotten... It only took us like an hour to get through that. Jeez. Wow. Now let's get to the main topic for this episode. Sanji, there's two. Sanji and the Emperors, and then everything that goes along with those two things. So let's start off. This year is going to be the year of Sanji, right? We know that.
Yeah.
So, there's so much to talk about. So do you think he's actually going to get married? Let's start with that. You know, we know he's on his way to the wedding. Do you think he's really going to end up getting married, or what do you think is going to go down?
Well, I feel like everyone's expecting it's not going to happen. Something's going to stop it. So I'm going to want to be the opposite and say, because everyone's going to think it's not going to happen and all this stuff, I feel like it's going to happen. But something's else is going to happen so that they don't become part of, like, they still get him to stay on the crew and they don't become part of Big Mom's pirate crew, you know? But
it would be amazing, I think, personally, if he somehow got Big Mom to work under Luffy. Like, could you imagine?
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either. I just want it to. I highly doubt it would.
I kind of think the marriage will happen.
See,
Well, I hope it does for some reason.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of Sanji getting married now. Like,
yeah,
at this
I don't
point
like it
in the
either,
series.
but I kind of want it to happen just because I don't want them to get out of everything that happens, you know?
But Oda also said, well, okay, there's a little bit of foreshadowing where in the last chapter or the chapter before, whenever it was, when Luffy said, you know, oh, Sanji's getting married, well, then we can expect a new crewmate, or whatever he said. You know, I feel like that's a little bit of foreshadowing that whoever this person is, there's a huge chance that they're going to end up joining the crew, whether or not they end up getting married. What do you think about that? Do you agree or disagree?
That's a interesting idea. I kind of like it.
But, that being said, I think that because of that, you know, there was a point in time where Oda had said he didn't want to have any, like, relationships on the crew. Like, he'd make jokes about Sanji liking the women, but, like, there weren't going to be any, like, actual romantic issues between the crew members of Luffy's crew. Now, you can't take that to say that, you know, he won't get married, but I just think that it's kind of evidence to support the fact that he won't. Personally. Or at least if he does, then, I don't know, it'd be kind of weird. And I don't know, I don't see it, because, like, I know, even if Sanji got married, even if he ended up getting married and his wife ended up joining the crew, you know he's still going to fawn over Nami and Robin all the time.
Yeah, and every other woman he meets.
Yeah. And then there's also Viola, like, what about her? You know, like, they had a thing.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, I feel like his wife would get tired of him going after girls all the time while they were married. Well, I think Sanji will get married at some point. I just think it's too soon. That's what I think. Alright, and branching off of that, who do you think is going to be the bride? The popular theory is the three-eyed girl. But...
yeah, that would be cool, because we haven't actually, like, met her yet, you know? Mm-hmm. I just don't want it to be anyone else that we've actually met, really, you know? Like, so...
So you don't want it to be, like, Bonnie or Lola, or...
Is Bonnie actually was it confirmed that she's a...
It's not confirmed, but I mean, come on. Like, come on. Her cake is her ship is a cake. Like, they're going to Whole Cake Island. And she's got the lipstick, I mean... And, you know, we have no idea what she really looks like. With her fruit, she can make herself look like however she wants. For all we know, before she ate the fruit, she could have been like Alvida was before she ate her fruit.
Wait, but does it make her thin? I thought it just made her be able to change her age.
Well, it does, but don't you think that would affect... yeah, I guess you're right. I guess not.
I guess he could be using it also to make her metabolism really fast.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. But I don't know. I also think that Bon Clay might actually be the child of Big Mom because he has the same lipstick as Lola and Bonnie, and everybody is saying like that's what determines whether or not they're going to be the...
Wait, do they still have the whatever card that what's her name?
Lola?
Okay. Yeah.
Nami does.
Yeah, no, they still have it. That's what I'm saying. So they somehow that's going to come up. I know it's going to come up in the
I think it would be really cool if whenever they went to Whole Cake Island, they called in like an armada, and it was like reminiscent of Marineford and how all their allies showed up to help them then. You know, like Lola comes in, and the Straw Hat Grand Fleet comes in, and Minks come in, and everybody's coming in to help Luffy fight Big Mom, or, you know, something.
You say that they have same...
Or, hold on, sorry, or they could do the same thing whenever they go to Kaido, and then people from the previous arc with Big Mom come in, and everybody comes in to help them. So it's like the same thing, only now they got Big Mom backing them too. Alright, so what were you going to say?
Okay, well, there's something I've got to say about Lola's lipstick. How, you got, Bonnie, you got Bon Clay, and Big Mom all have the same lipstick. Lola only has the same lipstick when she was in the zombie. The zombie had the same lipstick, otherwise she just has, like, big lipstick around all her whole lips, which isn't the same as in the
That's
car.
true. I hadn't thought about that. I forgot.
But her zombie does have the right lipstick.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's kind of weird,
But she
you know?
did say her mom was a really important person in the New World.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just as much evidence.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not confirmed that any of these people are related to Big Mom. It's just, theories, speculation. But I feel like the fact that you say, my mom's a really important person in the New World, and then later we find out there's an emperor named Big Mom in the New World. It's kind of like, come on. Alright, next, what do you think the wedding is going to be like? Do you think it's like, going to be like an average wedding ceremony?
The thing is, something about a tea party, because we know she has these tea parties every so often. And
yeah, but this one just so happens to be a wedding, so they're not always weddings. So, I don't know. I have no idea. It could be some crazy ceremony for all we know. But I don't think it'll be like a traditional wedding for some reason. I just don't. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely not. There's gonna be candy everywhere.
That would be an even better ceremony. What do you think about the bomb? The whole bomb thing? Because that's going to come up at some point. The bomb they sent her during the Fishman Island arc. Do you think that's going to happen? I mean, it's got to happen during the...
So, what actually happened? Like, they actually sent her a bomb? I don't really remember.
I don't remember the details. I just remember she's going to receive a package that has a bomb in it. It's like a present, and it's actually a bomb. And I remember them saying that she was going to get it during her tea party. And now we find out that the tea party is Sanji's wedding. So, we know that there's a bomb there, that's basically it. We know that there's a present there that's actually a bomb. That's
Wait, so who sent it? Like,
I don't remember. I think the Fishman did, but I don't remember. But I do remember them saying that when she opens it, she's going to think it's from Luffy. So... But how cool would that be if they used that to escape? Like, I remember I heard some people talking on like in a YouTube video saying, like, what if she opens the present and Sanji's like, wait a minute. I recognize that present. We gotta run. I just think that would be cool. I think that was the King of Lightning that said that. Anyway.
Yeah, that would be cool. For some reason, I don't... Like, there's a lot of stuff somehow that I just, like, miss, probably because...
Well, the Fishman Island arc was not the most captivating one.
Yeah.
At the time.
The thing is, I also seem to miss a lot that happened during the one where they were on the island out Punk Hazard.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just, like, kind of... Whatever the time period I was reading that and Fishman Island, I just kind of, I guess, wasn't focusing on it enough on what I was reading.
I think that, personally, whenever Luffy meets up with Raizo, because we know he's that Raizo, we don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, I don't think. I could be wrong. I think it's a boy, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We know that Raizo's a ninja, and that Minks are willing to lose limbs and give up their entire civilization for it. And that's about it.
Yeah.
And that he's friends with Kanjuro and Kinemon. But that's it. So, what I'm thinking is, he's gonna be like a super stealthy character, like a ninja would be. Because we don't really... Like, have we ever seen a stealthy character in One Piece? Ever? Besides Luffy and Impel Down screwing around with everybody?
No.
Like, I can't think of any. And if that's his specialty, like, if he's a stealth guy, you gotta think, Luffy was just talking about, how are we gonna get to Big Mom, Luffy? She's one of the 4 emperors. And he's like, well, just sneak in. But, he said that, obviously, that was kind of like a joke, because, you can't just sneak up, but... If he's like a stealth master and they're meeting up with him on Zoe...
That, you are a genius. I did not think of anything like that. But that is, I like that idea.
I don't know. I just like, well, I mean, what else would it be? Like, why else would you introduce a ninja right before he's talking about sneaking in right before you introduce the ninja? Anyway. So
And what were they trying to get other information, and that's why they're meeting up? Like, what exactly is he here for?
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, what are the samurai and ninjas planning? What are they doing?
We only just now learned that Zoe is connected to the Wano Kuni.
Yeah, but
in this last chapter.
Yeah, but we also been known about the samurai for a while, and known that there was a ninja they were meeting up on with Zoe. But do we know anything about, because they were undercover in these different places for a reason. Like one was in one of them was in the Doflamingo's country.
Dressrosa, one of them was in Punk Hazard, one of them was in Zoe.
Well, one of them, what made it back to Zoe, because they were meeting up at Zoe, Yeah. And these are all places that were all related to Kaido, and Kaido sent people to attack.
That's true. We know for a fact that Kaido has a major role in Wano Kuni. We just don't know what it is. Yeah.
So they're probably gathering stuff to find a way to take down Kaido, which will work in Luffy and Law's favor, because that's what they were planning. They were planning on doing.
We also don't know why Kaido wants Raizo.
Because he's got information, is what I'm thinking. I feel like he was infiltrating somewhere that was really important to Kaido. I like how this Raizo was the only one that was really successful in his mission.
Yeah, I know. Because Kinemon, when we first saw Kinemon, he was just a head. And then when we first see, or not Kinemon.
No, he was just a legs.
Oh yeah, and then the head, right? Yeah. And then when we first saw Kanjuro, he's in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm expecting Raizo's gonna be so much more seeming impressive compared to these guys.
Although, to be fair, we know that Kanjuro could have escaped at any point in time. He was just waiting for Kinemon.
Yeah.
So maybe he isn't so bad at his job, but we know Kinemon is.
Yeah. So I'm expecting him to be really badass.
He better be freaking
someone that doesn't seem like he belongs with those two, but yet is somehow one of their best friends.
I know, it's funny because the other two go together with their comedy style, and he's got that whole theme. Oda has the whole theme going with how they're related to the old time Japanese. I can't think of the word for it, but old time Japanese theater, and it'd be funny to see that contrast, like you were saying, but he better be badass after this last chapter.
Yeah.
You can't hype somebody up that much and then have it be a troll. You just can't.
I want him to be super badass, but somehow best friends with those two.
Yeah. Alright. Now, I do want to talk about Kaido a lot more, but first, Sanji's family. What do you think of Sanji's family? First off, his brothers. We know he has at least two brothers.
Yeah.
Do you think we've seen them before? Do you think we know who they are? Do you think they're going to be totally new characters? What do you think is going to happen? What do you want to happen?
Other YouTubers have basically convinced me that, and Tumblr basically convinced me that they're going to be not new characters, Mm-hmm. But there's been different ideas that I've seen of who they are,
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure, but I do want them to be new characters. I mean, do not want them to be new characters. I want them to be people we already know.
I wouldn't mind if they were new characters as long as they were cool.
Yeah, but you already have so many characters that aren't developed or enough,
That's true. I agree with you. I would like for them to be characters we've already met. And I really do believe that Bellamy is a huge possibility to be one of Sanji's brothers.
Yeah.
There's so much evidence to support that. But, I wouldn't mind if they were new characters so long as they're not so as long as they're not the Celestial Dragons or just total assholes or something, But then it would make sense if they were, because then it would make sense as to why he left.
Uh-huh.
So I
Well,
wouldn't
maybe they all were forced to leave as kids, and that's why they're characters that we know, like, that we
Yeah.
would have seen.
I know. I could agree with that. But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't put it past Oda to make them, like, total assholes. I don't want that to happen.
What do you think of the photo I sent you that I got off Tumblr that was the two from the Revolutionary Army?
That was cool. I liked it. From
I kind of do want it to be them.
What was that arc called? The one right like after Marineford, where it was Luffy's past with, and they first introduced Sabo. I forget what that arc was called. It was like the name of their town was the name of the arc or something. I can't remember. But anyway, I that's where those characters you sent me the screenshot were from. Was that arc? Whenever Dragon steps in, right?
Yeah.
Or at least it was around that time. So anyway, so
they showed up multiple times. You know.
Yeah. What do you think of the whole assassin thing? Like, I think it's cool, but like, what do you think is what do you think that means for the rest of the series? Like, because now we know that there's this whole underground in One Piece that we haven't explored hardly at all, that we were being introduced to. I guess you could argue that we were introduced to it with Frankie, because we at least knew he had ties to the underground, so we knew it existed. But, like, we didn't know the scale and the depth of it. So what do you think it means now that we're learning about the assassins? Do you think that opens up, like, a whole new world of possibilities, or do you think this is it?
Wait, repeat that again? Sorry.
Okay, so basically, we knew that the underground world of One Piece existed because of Frankie, from pre-timeskip Frankie, whenever he said he was getting the wood from the ship from contacts in the underground, right?
Now, yeah.
So we knew that it at least existed. But, for all we knew, that could have just been like a one-off thing Frankie said that never came back. But now, we know that Sanji's family is in the underground. So do you think that Oda could draw a connection to that? Or do you think this is just going to be like, this is it for the underground, that there's assassins and that's it? Or do you think that he's going to open up like this whole new world?
Like the underground could be like a whole new world, but like very much also the world we're in,
I don't know. I think, it just opens up so many possibilities. Like, how could you not take that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But
especially if
I just thought of, what if the ninja guy
Raizo
is actually Sanji's brother?
Could you imagine?
Because he's a ninja. Family of assassins. Or he's like somehow related to Sanji.
I don't know. I don't think...
And that's how they get him to help. It's because he's related or something.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I would love it if it did. Because
they could be so involved in the... they could be working around the whole world and, like, have, like, the branch families in, like, places like Wano country and stuff,
Well, at this point, you could argue that, they're going to help Luffy anyway just because they owe him, because think of all the stuff Luffy's done for Kinemon and Kanjuro at this point. Like,
yeah.
And Momonosuke. Like, they owe him just for all the shower scenes Momonosuke's had with Nami and Robin. Anyway, so, alright, so then, I guess moving on, let's talk about Kaido a little more. So, what do you think is going to be, like, his power? Like, how do you think they're going to explain his appearance? Do you think he's a giant that ate a devil fruit, or what?
Kaido. I'm going to look up a picture.
Well, like, what do you think about his powers? We know that he was called the strongest creature in the world. Similar to how Whitebeard was the strongest man in the world. We know Kaido is the strongest. But, you gotta think, Whitebeard had that title when he was in his prime. And, look at all the stuff he did at Marineford.
Okay,
And just think
I just kind of wanted to see his size. That's why I was looking up a picture.
Oh, he's huge. He's huge.
I know. the thing is, I wanted to say like maybe he had some connection to those giant races that the one that was
Like Horus
helping
Jr.?
Whitebeard and the one Horus. But now I'm thinking he's not quite that tall.
He's pretty big.
I know, but he's like I don't think he's taller than a giant.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, yeah. I could see him being a giant that ate a devil fruit, but I don't know.
What if his devil fruit is like invulnerability?
Well then, that's OP. That's too OP, man. What? Well then, what do you do to somebody like that? You couldn't even drown him in seawater because he's too tall. Like, how do you kill him?
Exactly.
How would Luffy beat him?
The thing is, I don't think anyone can beat him.
What?
But I don't know what if they're gonna have to beat him from bankrupting him and like destroying his whole organization and making it so that his crew is not as powerful enough to be considered a warlord,
Yeah. Well, you mean an emperor.
Emperor,
no.
yeah.
Well, okay, here's a question. What do you think about Kids Alliance and how Kaido just like literally dropped in on them? Do you think they're gonna get their asses beat by him, or do you think they're gonna team up with him?
They're getting their asses beat.
I think, personally, that they're gonna try to team up with him to go after Shanks, because, I mean, if you're going after an emperor, it would not hurt to have an emperor on your side.
Yeah. I feel like they're gonna fight first because Kaido wants to fight, I think. Because he wants to find more ways to die. But
well, he literally said as he was falling that he was going to start a war. So, yeah. I mean, it would make sense that he would fight them.
So, the thing is, I do kind of think they are going to convince Kaido to help because Kaido just wants to do whatever he can to, like... Because he's so bored, because his powers are he's so OP and, like, can't get injured,
I
he
think...
wants to find ways to challenge himself, so they might convince him to fight Shanks.
I think that would make for an epic battle if, like, Luffy went to help. Well, here's what I think, personally, is going to happen. This is my theory of what is going to happen. And I could be way off or whatever, but I have, like, no evidence to support it either. This is just, like, what I think is going to happen at the same time what I want to happen. It's like a mixture of both. I think Kaido is going to team up with Kid's group to go after Shanks. Luffy is going to do something with Sanji, to get Sanji back, and somehow end up with Big Mom as an ally. Luffy's going to go after Kaido when he hears that they're going after Shanks, and then with Big Mom as his backup. And then he's going to arrive just in time to see Shanks die.
No.
Because, think about it. Think about it. It would make so much sense, like, for Shanks to die in the series, and how perfect would it be for Luffy to, like, power up at that point, basically like go Super Saiyan.
No,
it would be.
Can't.
It would
don't kill Shanks. Don't.
I mean, it would be so sad, but like at the same time, like Luffy would just go so like all out. I feel like
he would kill Kaido in a single.
He'd become One Punch Man.
Yes, Kaido killed Shanks. Luffy would get so pissed.
But just think about it. Think about how strong that the emperors are, right? Because you gotta look at Whitebeard first. Whitebeard during Marineford was like the strongest character we've ever seen to this point, like even today. And he was way past his prime. He was sick and old and injured in Marineford, and he still almost destroyed the world. So like think about what he would have been like in his prime. And that's like what Kaido is, and Shanks. Well, I guess not Shanks without his arm, I guess you could say, but
I still think Shanks is kind of in his prime, even without his arm.
Yeah,
because I think he's more powerful than he was before he lost his arm.
But anyway, going off of that, and look at Jack. We've seen Jack has a bounty of 1 billion. That's the highest bounty we've ever seen. And he just works for Kaido. So you gotta think, Luffy's bounty right now, after all the stuff in Dressrosa, is half of that. And he beat Doflamingo. Think of how much of a hard time he had against Doflamingo. Like, sure, he was only at, like, half capacity when he fought him, but still.
One sec. Did Luffy's bounty go up after?
Yeah, it did. It's 500 million now.
Okay, yeah. Good.
But, so you just gotta think, Kaido, I think, personally, is too strong for Luffy. But I think if Luffy saw Shanks die, then something would, like, snap inside of him, and he would just go, like, batshit crazy and beat the shit out of Kaido. And that's what I think is gonna happen. So what do you think of all that?
That would be awesome, but I will not let Shanks die. I think I do that it, but I won't do to stop it, but I will not let Shanks die.
What do you think about the other calamities? Because we haven't even seen the other 2 calamities yet. We know Jack is the drought. Oh, and piggybacking off of what I just said, I also think it would be cool, like I said, if that happened, like, it was like a sort of really reminiscent of Marineford and how Luffy arrived with Big Mom, and, like, could you imagine all the people on Luffy's side, and then even, like, the supernovas showed up, like, half the supernovas are on Luffy's side, half of them are on Kaido's side.
There.
Yeah, and that was, you didn't let me finish, I was gonna get to that. I think that after all that's said and done, Luffy's gonna beat the shit out of Kaido, right? And Buggy's gonna become an emperor. Like, somehow, some way, they're gonna think that Buggy had something to do with it, and he's gonna become an emperor.
But the thing is, the only thing that happens with Buggy is an epic fight between
against Usopp.
Buggy and Usopp.
God, Usopp. And it's just like an episode straight of them just telling them about each other's attacks.
And they're just, for most of it, they're just standing there nervously shaking and sweating both sides.
And like pointing at each other, telling them what's about to happen.
And then all of Buggy's crew are like, so like engrossed, like, look at that. They're staring each other down. It's a mental battle. I've never seen a fight of this caliber before.
And then all the people from, like, Dressrosa are on Usopp's side. Like, all the people he freed in Dressrosa are just like...
Yeah.
No, they have no idea what's coming to them. Like, he's the one who's really, like, charging up here.
It's like, look at that. You're just having battle mentors. They're just having fights, like, every single move. They're predicting the other person's move. And
it's like an amazing chess game.
Yeah, it's just like, and they're just standing there like, shut up. Like, it's like in their heads, like telling both sides to shut up. That's definitely got to happen at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're just like, it would be so awesome. I just want that fight so badly.
What else?
And then after that, somehow, Usopp... So Buggy becomes an emperor, and then Usopp's bounty goes, like, to, like, 1 billion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because, like, imagine he wins the fight, but Buggy still becomes an emperor, so everybody thinks Usopp is, like, stronger than an emperor.
Yeah. And then, like, his bounties, like, would become somehow double whatever Luffy's becomes.
Or you could just say, like, nobody wins the fight and it's a draw, and, you know, they both become emperors. Because, like I said, if what I said happens and Shanks dies, and then Kaido dies to Luffy, then there would be 2 emperor spots open. So what if Usopp and Buggy became emperors together?
Well, obviously the news would report it as Luffy being the emperor, but they'll say that his crew has someone that's equal to the emperor of Buggy's crew.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Luffy, and you know,
they say Luffy's real strength is in his secret weapon, God Usopp, who's even stronger than Luffy.
Yeah, but you know that Luffy he's not going to be an emperor, like, you know, he wants to be king of the pirates.
Yeah.
And also, I just think, you know, Luffy has yet to kill anyone, right?
Yeah.
And I think Oda said that Luffy wouldn't kill anyone. But, like, if he was going to kill somebody, you know it's going to be whoever kills Shanks.
Yeah. or Blackbeard. Just
Yeah,
kill
well, obviously. But that's, like, way, way, way off into the future. Like, that's, like, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jinbei? Like, when do you think Jinbei is going to show up? Because he's got to show up soon. I would think he would show up during the Big Mom arc, because he has business with Big Mom since he's a fish man. But you know he's got that poneglyph that he's bringing to him, and he's got to show up eventually. But what better time to introduce him than during the Big Mom arc?
Yeah. Do you
Like-
know what just popped in my head?
What?
The first page of the cover of this week's One Piece, like how
With Iceberg and everybody reacting to
everyone's
Frankie?
reacting to like what has he done to himself? So that,
Yeah.
but like they all probably expect that's his actual like face now.
Yeah.
Something.
You know, I just had a thought, like, I just went to combine my two theories of what's going to happen in my head, with Raizo being the first one. You know how I said Raizo's, like, stealthy, and maybe he'll help Luffy sneak into Big Mom's place?
Yeah.
What if it's sort of like an Impel Down thing, where Raizo helps Luffy sneak in, right? Sort of like how Boa helped him sneak in. And then he's, like, being stealthy the whole time, and then something happens with the bomb in Big Mom's face, and then shit hits the fan, and then just all this stuff starts happening, and then that's when Jinbei shows up, and he's just like, well, shit. Hi, Luffy.
No, you gotta pick something. One more thing. Buggy comes in, and that's when shit starts going down. Like,
also Edward Weevil shows up too, because the Whitebeard Jr.
Yeah. So the thing is, Buggy shows up, and that is when when everything starts going bad, like what happened in Impel Down.
Yeah.
And Jinbee's gonna be like basically what Bon Clay was, you know, actually like helpful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Except stay with Luffy afterwards, you know.
Bon Clay was pretty badass like, in that arc. Like, he deserves a shout out. I still think that he's very possibly one of Big Mom's children. I think it would explain a lot. Like, because imagine if he's like the only son of Big Mom. Like, it would explain why he started out in the series as a criminal. It would explain his lipstick. It would explain if he has 35 sisters. It would explain pretty well his like personality traits. He grew up with like 35 sisters. I mean, come on. But anyway, just imagine the look on Jinbei's face, like, "Hey, Luffy, I'm finally here." Oh crap! Like, he just looks around. And there's chaos everywhere.
Yeah. So, what do you think of the Whitebeard Jr. person?
I have no idea what to expect there. The only thing I'm certain of is that it's not actually Whitebeard's son. Like, there's no.
I think that's actually Whitebeard's body.
Ooh. Sort of like how the those brothers were in Dressrosa in the Colosseum. The brothers that like went into each other's body to fight. You think somebody's doing that with Whitebeard's body?
I think someone brought back Whitebeard, but because how half his head was blasted to pieces, his mind is like really bad. Someone like wanted to bring back Whitebeard to life, and it turned into making this by accident. And that's why he's really stupid-ish, because half his head was partially destroyed. What was his name again? I need to look up a picture of him.
Edward Weevil. You could also look up Whitebeard Jr. I don't think that's gonna happen. It'd be interesting if it was like actually Whitebeard's dead corpse, but I don't think that's...
the thing is,
he doesn't have the holes in him.
I saw some like images like comparing it to Whitebeard, trying to like Whitebeard after all the damage or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like I think it's like Whitebeard's head and like part of his like arms or whatever. I don't know, like whatever they showed. You know, it's like they just like kind of like tried to put together.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be interesting. I mean, I wouldn't have seen that coming had you not said it just now. But I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just a new person who kind of looks similar and is being tricked into thinking that he's actually Whitebeard someone he isn't. But I have no idea. That's all I think though, because I have no idea for the rest. There's not.
I'm gonna send you this screenshot this image and send it to you. And maybe you could put it on the video.
Yeah, I will. I'll add images to this once we're done.
Okay.
I'm gonna render it as an MP3 and maybe upload it to SoundCloud, and then also render it as an MP4 with like images.
There.
Let me take a look at this. Oh yeah, he even has like the scar there. Huh. Maybe there's maybe.
Like, I can't remember where I saw like the rest of the. I saw like a lot more like a better one in this picture, but I can't find it. Okay.
Yeah.
But then look how the eyes look for all the zombies, and look how
isn't Gecko Moria dead? Like, I know it's not confirmed, but...
Yes, he's dead. That means someone else can have his devil fruit.
Maybe the lady that was with him has the devil fruit. Or maybe Blackbeard ended up getting it since What's-His-Face is collecting devil fruits. Who knows? But I think we should...
Or it could be something similar that's not, like, actually using shadows, but, like... just actually, like...
Or it could be, like, a new fruit, like a zombie fruit or something, you think?
Yeah.
Maybe. But alright, I think we should try to wrap it up, because you have somewhere to be, right? So.
Oh yeah, I've got nerd club to go to.
Alright. Well, this has been the first One Piece discussion. We're going to try for doing this on a weekly basis. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.
Okay, bye people.